Hi, I'm your host, Larissa Worstiak. Through this podcast, I aim to empower and inspire jewelry entrepreneurs and innovators so they can thrive by doing what they love. I'm passionate about digital marketing for jewelry brands, and I'm excited to share my passion with you. This is episode 106, and today I'm going to be talking about why mobile shopping matters for jewelry brands, especially for this 2020 holiday season. In addition, I'll be providing some actionable tips for making small changes that will optimize your site for mobile browsing and shopping. If you're watching the podcast on YouTube, you'll notice that I got rid of my normal burgundy background. I had kind of a revelation today, and I think I want to share it because I think it so much applies to marketing. If as a small business owner, you feel like you're procrastinating on tasks related to marketing or even with running your business, maybe you want to figure out what is actually holding you back from wanting to do something. For a long time, I kind of dreaded making videos because it meant I had to kind of set up my space and move stuff around and set up this backdrop because I was kind of self-conscious about the white wall behind me. And that was the thing kind of making me hate doing videos. I didn't actually hate doing the videos themselves. So if you feel like you're constantly putting stuff off that's holding back in your business, maybe just simplify things for yourself. Not everything always has to be perfect all the time. Not everything has to look and feel the way you ideally want those things to look and feel. If making things easier for you means you're actually going to get it done and enjoy doing it in the process, go ahead and go forth with whatever that is, because it's more important to just keep moving forward than kind of like dreading what you're doing. So that's just a little lesson that I wanted to share with you today. Anyway, before we get to the meat of the episode, I want to share some marketing related news and insights from the past week that caught my attention. Wow, the results from this year's Black Friday and Cyber Monday are slowly starting to pour in. Holiday shopping has definitely looked a little bit different this year since many retailers have been offering discounts earlier than usual in November. According to data from Adobe Analytics, quote, online sales grew a modest 21.5% on Thanksgiving compared with last year. Okay, so not that impressive, but an article from Digital E-commerce 360 makes an important assertion about that. Quote, shoppers took advantage of early deals, which may have softened Thanksgiving sales growth, but it actually led to more sales on the Tuesday and Wednesday prior to the holiday, end quote. All in all, 76% of the top 50 North American online retailers were offering a Black Friday deal on Monday, November 23rd, 3 days before Thanksgiving and 4 days earlier than Black Friday. So it'll be really interesting to see in a few weeks, once the data keeps coming in, how the sales kind of were spread out throughout November, because that traditional Black Friday and Cyber Monday maybe didn't apply to people. I've also seen some data online that by Cyber Monday, people were kind of burnt out from shopping because they had already been doing it all throughout November. But at the same time, I have seen some reports that this Cyber Monday was one of the biggest of all time and really blew expectations out of the water. So even though the data is still coming in, I'm really excited to see what happened. Even though Thanksgiving shopping broke records this year, it was tempered by all the early sales and promotions, which is the main takeaway from this article. There's an interesting e-commerce thread going on Twitter about things e-commerce retailers wish they had known before launching their online stores. Eric Bandholes, that's at Bandholes, led the charge of this conversation or thread with some really fascinating lessons and insights. He said, 1, focus on the products that are easiest to sell and most profitable. Don't get distracted building a portfolio of products that don't perform. 2, as early as you can, build an automated email flow. It's the gift that keeps giving. And 3, the best way to collect email addresses is actually by selling products. It's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg, but I think that he's really right. There were a lot of other interesting insights in this thread, but you'll have to sign up for my email newsletter to get the link. It's way too much to share here on the podcast. What are some things you wish you had known before starting a business, specifically an e-commerce one? And finally, have you been thinking about making videos to show off your jewelry products? 16 members of Forbes Communications Council recently shared their top tips on what to include in product videos to make buyers consider closing the sale. Not only will you want to understand your target customer, but you'll also want to tell a powerful story, focus on your wow factor, build trust, leverage user-generated content, keep product videos short, include a strong call to action, and more. If you want to get the links to the articles I share in this segment of the podcast, you can visit joyjoya.com/sign up to sign up for my email newsletter, and you'll get a digest with the links whenever a new episode drops. All right, let's get to it. Why is mobile shopping so important for jewelry brands? Well, I was inspired to do this episode after I saw a hot off the presses report titled Adobe Analytics Holiday Forecast 2020, which predicted that 42% of shopping will be done from smartphones this holiday season. Furthermore, the report states that, quote, smartphone shopping dollars will grow by 55% year over year this season, and that, quote, 28.1 billion more will be spent by people on smartphones this year. Crazy. If your jewelry brand's website isn't optimized for an ideal mobile browsing and shopping experience, then you could potentially be missing out on critical sales. If your website's built on Shopify, then you're likely ahead of the game, and you'll know I'm a big evangelist for Shopify. But I mean, many Shopify themes are already fully responsive, meaning that they adjust for any screen size and resolution. So you don't have to do too much out of the box to make it work for mobile. If you're not on Shopify, or even if you're still concerned, you can make some small changes that will immediately improve your mobile experience. Keep listening for some tips. 1, you'll definitely want to increase page load speed. Did you know that as page load speed increases from 1 to 3 seconds, the user bounce rate also increases by 32%? Bounce rate refers to people that visit your website and immediately leave. So the longer they have to wait, the more likely they are to leave. If the visitor needs to wait 1 second too long for your webpage to load on a mobile device, they're likely going to abandon you. I hate to say it. The difference between someone staying on your website and leaving can literally be the blink of an eye. If you want to analyze the speed of your website, you'll want to check out Google's free tool, Page Speed Insights. When you enter your website URL into the tool, Google will provide you with a performance score and then even make some important recommendations about how you can decrease load time. You'll likely need a web developer to help you implement some of the recommendations because they can be pretty technical, but those updates can mean the difference between someone staying on your site and buying something or immediately leaving and going to check out what your competitor has to offer on a faster website. 2, you want to consider adding a sticky search bar. By sticky, I mean that the search bar stays at the top of the screen, even as you scroll up and down. So it's kind of stuck there. Can visitors to your website easily find your search bar? When you implement this sticky search bar at the top of your mobile e-commerce website, you can help your customers find exactly what they're seeking, no matter where they are on your website. According to a resource called CXL, there's a massive opportunity in site search optimization. An author of one article I found on that site writes, due to the increased level of purchase intent from searchers, they're known to convert up to 5 to 6 times higher than the average non-site search visitor. So what that means in plain English language is, if someone's coming to your site and they already know what they're looking for, if you give them an easy way to find it, they'll probably be more likely to buy it because the intent to buy, they're already ready to give you their credit card. If they already know what they want, but you're not giving them an easy way to find it, then you're probably going to lose them and they're going to go to a competitor who makes it really easy to search. I even had this experience myself recently shopping for holiday gifts. I was looking for some silver hoop earrings, and I knew exactly what I wanted. So I kind of had in my head like some jewelry websites that I knew would probably have what I was looking for. I'm doing this on my mobile phone in between doing other things because I don't really have time to sit and search that hard for a gift. And if I could quickly find and sort and refine on different websites and quickly see what they have and if it matched what I was looking for in my head, I was much more prepared to make that purchase than if I couldn't find what I was looking for on a website. So it's super important. 3, you'll definitely want to optimize your images. Just because an image is optimized for desktop viewing doesn't mean it will work as effectively for mobile shopping. Your photos are consuming a lot of bandwidth and they need to load quickly or you risk losing your customers. The optimal size for images will kind of vary from one site to another and where they're placed and what they're being used for, but you can work with an experienced web developer to understand how you can display the best quality images at the lowest possible file size, the smallest possible file size. A web developer can also help you understand the differences between various file formats like .jpeg, .png, etc., because they all have different functions and they all have different load times. So a web developer can help guide you through the best practices for using these images. 4, you'll want to simplify your mobile checkout. If your mobile checkout process is too complicated, then you'll likely find that many of your mobile customers are abandoning their carts. First, you'll want to make sure that you have both desktop and mobile versions of your checkout if possible. So they should look kind of different on each depending on how easy it is to check out on different types of devices. You want to keep your checkout forms short and sweet. The less information a customer has to enter at checkout, the more likely they'll keep moving forward and actually click purchase because they won't get annoyed. They'll have less time to think about what's actually happening and they'll keep moving forward. You'll also want to give your customers the option to check out as a guest. If they need to register or create an account in order to make a purchase, they might decide that that's too much work and abandon their carts. I mean, wouldn't that be annoying to you if you had to create an account every time you wanted to purchase something online? I would hate that. Lastly, you'll want to think about your buttons and calls to action. Did you know that your buttons and calls to action may be actually displaying differently on a mobile site? When buttons are too small, people may struggle to touch them on their smartphones. I mean, everyone has different sized fingers. It's not always easy for everyone to touch the screen in the same way. In addition, your users may be completely missing your calls to action that are inviting them to shop, explore, and learn more because maybe the buttons are too small, the text is too small, the contrast is not good on the screen. At the same time, you don't want the buttons to be too big or they'll completely overtake the mobile experience competing with your content and products. So there's definitely a fine balance between the two. Strategically using color on your mobile website and surrounding your buttons with white space can also help them stand out so they're easier to notice. Like with any calls to action, you'll want to always use strong verbs to encourage the user to take action. However, on mobile, you may even want to add some extra interest by mixing in colorful verbs like upgrade and explore, especially if you have some kind of like expanding pop-up or just some feature that is not included on your desktop site. Make it more interesting and compelling for your mobile shoppers. Have you noticed that more of your sales are coming from mobile checkout this year? What have you done to optimize your mobile experience? Anything? Making some small changes and claiming some quick wins can boost your sales and keep your customers happy. It's also a strategic future-proofing move because people are only going to be shopping on mobile devices more and more in the future. What do you think? You can always email me, Larissa, that's LARYSSA @joyjoya.com with your questions, comments, or feedback. As a reminder, my new book, Jewelry Marketing Joy, is published and on sale and ready to ship. Makes a great holiday gift for yourself or a loved one in the jewelry industry. If you'd like to learn more about the book and how you can order your own copy, please visit joyjoya.com/book for more information.